we got this big problem in the country, and that is for decades now. Corporate profits has been going up, up, up.
It's exciting,
up,
isn't it?
up, up, up. And workers' wages, the folks who actually do the work, have just been flat. They're just not, when you adjust for inflation, they're just not making any more money. So the Republicans have come up with a tax bill, and they said, here's the idea. We're going to give about $1.5 trillion in tax breaks to those corporations that are already rolling in big profits.
Right.
And somehow they're going to share it with all of their workers, and that's how worker wages are going to come up. Now, the problem we've got for that is it has never worked that way. It hasn't worked that way. And in fact, it's evidently not even how corporate executives think, because they've already talked about what they would do if they had some tax giveaways.
That's right. Now, Wall Street talks to these executives, right?
Yeah.
This chief financial officer, et cetera, and they have to legally tell the truth.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to read what these people were telling their investors, right? There's some gobbledygook in this, or stuff that is hard to understand.
I think the term is actually, it's the official term, it's gobbledygook.
This will require you to translate what the executive said, okay?
Okay, so you be the executive and I'll be the translator.
Okay,
I'm ready.
I'll be the executive.
Okay, I'm going to listen so I can
Right
translate.
now, I'm the executive vice president and chief financial officer of Eli Lilly. So when I think about tax reform, it doesn't affect our ability to fund our internal innovation. For us, it would give us greater latitude in terms of utilization, either to enhance the dividend more, or do greater share repurchase.
Translation. More money for the investors.
Okay, I didn't understand that until... Here's what the president and CEO of Simpson Manufacturing said. We will consider any benefit we may receive in the event of a tax repatriation holiday or potential corporate rate reduction as further funds for share repurchase.
Translation. More money for the investors.
It's very similar. Hard to say.
But I'm listening.
Okay, executive vice president and CFO of NetApp. I did talk about the fact if we did have a tax reform, what we would do with the cash. So we would repatriate it. We would probably pay a higher dividend.
Translation. More money for the investors.
Okay, this is the executive vice president and CFO of Juniper Networks. If there was a change in the tax reform and or repatriation, absolutely, we'd have to take another look at our 50% free cash flow. And that could change the overall pie, if you will, of shareholder return, capital return. And then you'd look at how much we would buy back versus dividend. So sure, I think if there were tax reform or repatriation, we'd have to take another look at that.
Translation. More money for the investors.
Right. Now I'm getting, I got that that's what he was doing there.
Good.
There's a pattern. So basically, what they're basically saying is you cut our taxes. And you cut our tax rate, and also we'll take advantage of our loopholes. So it'll just be, we're not paying 35% anyway. Let's face it, investors, we're smart.
So really we'd say it's more money for the investors and more money for the executives.
It's exciting.
It's $1.5 trillion giveaway to giant corporations, and it really is.
And good. What's great about it too is it adds to our debt.
That's right.
The Republican Party, which
overall,
cares so much about our deficit. I'm just wondering, are there better things to do with that $1.5 trillion?
We might think of one or two.
Yeah. Infrastructure. Remember that?
I remember infrastructure. How about knocking down some of that student loan debt?
Oh, yeah.
I really look at this and say they're counting. The Republicans are counting on the fact that they're going to be able to give away $1.5 trillion to big corporations. It's going to help the shareholders. It's going to help the executives. And it's going to leave the workers behind, and that the American people aren't going to figure it out in time to stop it. So the clock is ticking on this one, Al. I'm in this fight. How about you? Done.
How about you? Make your voices heard. And thanks for watching.
Yep. Thanks, Al.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Thank you.